Hello everyone. In this course, we will make an exercise which is rock, scissor, paper game. And this game is going to improve your understanding of classes and objects. Let's begin with the game rules. So each player, we will have two players, player 1 and player 2. Each player will have a hand sign. These are paper, scissor, and rock. If player 1 is paper and player 2 is rock, then player 1 is going to win. And if player 1 is scissor, then player 2 is a paper, then again player 1 is going to win. If player 1 is rock and player 2 is scissor, and again player 1 is going to win. If they are same, which means their hand sign is same, then they draws. Otherwise, player 2 is going to win. These are the game rules. And based on these game rules, I would like to show you some overview code. And I believe this will make easy for you to understand. So we will have a main class. In this main class, we will create a game. So for this, we will need a game class. And then we need to create a game object from game class. Game is equal to new game. For this game, we will need to add gamers or players. So game add player 1 and player 2. So we need to have player 1 and player 2 objects. For this, we need to create class called player. So we create player class, and then player 1 is equal to new player, then we name it player 1, and similarly we create player 2. After we add player 1 and player 2 to the game, and then we need to start the game. So game.start will initialize the game. So let's take a look at this code. So we are calling add method from game class. So let's go into the game class and we will have add method. So this add method will have two parameters, player 1 and player 2. So in game, we will have player 1 and player 2 properties, then we'll assign them. So game will contain player 1, which is P1 from here, and player 2, P2 from here. So now, good, we have game class. It's containing player 1 and player 2. That means game object will contain player 1 and player 2. And then, as for the start method, we will have while is game not over, which means continue, still continue. The player 1 is going to move, so it will choose hand. Is it rock, scissors, or paper? And similarly, player 2 will make his choice. This is actually, it's happening at the same time. And after they made their choice, the process move will work. Process movement will compare their movement, and then based on it will decide it. Okay, this will happen for each single step. If game is over, then that means this will be false, and then we will go to this display scores for player 1 and player 2. So let's go into this start method. Maybe before this, move method for each. And the move method is simple. We always need to check whether the game is over or not. If it's over, then we don't have to move because we need to return. So we need to have a variable to store the user choice, and user choice is going to be simply key in this game because we will have, this is console application, we will have Q for quit, R for rock, S for scissor, and P for paper. And then we need to have another variable to check whether the input is valid or not. So we will have is input invalid, which is going to be false, because if user enter anything else than Q, R, S, and P, we need to keep ask the user to put the valid input. So for this, we have do while. While is input invalid, we will keep ask, please enter Q for quit, R for rock, S for scissor, and P for paper. And then we will have console read key dot keychar. This will give us the user input, and then we'll store this in user choice. And using switch case, we can switch user choice. If it's Q, then game is over. True, then it will immediately go here and then display scores. Else, if the user click R, then hand sign is going to be rock. And then if it's S, scissor, if it's P, paper. If not, we will say that is input invalid is going to be true, and then we'll keep ask. And then in order to use this process movement, because we will have these methods, process movement after each move, then we'll go here. Again, we'll check if game's over, then return. You don't have to process movement. As if player 1 hand sign, if it's equal to player 2 hand sign, draws. As if player 1 paper, player 2 rock, player 1 wins. Player 1 scissor, player 2 paper, player 1 wins. Player 1 rock, player 2 scissor, and player 1 wins. Else, player 2 is going to win. And then for each movement, of course, we need to increment trials, because each time they are trying. And then we will create this game in using Visual Studio. Let me create a new project, call this, it's a console application, C#, and then call this just next, say rock, scissor, paper, game. Then simply create it. Maybe we can make it version 2, because it's already exists. So we need to start creating some class. I think it's better to start with game, then maybe we can better start with player class. So right click here, add, then class, call this player. Let's make it public so we can access anywhere within the project. And then we need to have some property for player. Let's have, the first one is going to be string name, and then I don't want someone else change it, so make it private set. So we'll have another which is going to be hand sign. For this, let's have an enum, so public enum, and then call this hand sign. Then we will have hand sign rock, scissor, and then paper. So let's have it, then hand sign, and simply hand sign, then the private set. Okay, another one is going to be number of wins. So property, integer, simply wins. So I don't, maybe I want someone change outside, because we will need it, need to access this in game. And then property, then draws, and then property, trials. So for the draw and trials, this should be static, because draws and trials will be same for player 1 and player 2. Therefore, we don't have to have unique instance for these. So static, it will be common. That's why we have to make it static. Again, number of trial will be same for player 1 and player 2, and draws will be same player, because they're playing together. Therefore, it should be static. Otherwise, it will store draw and trial for each object, and this is wrong actually. And let's have a constructor here for these. Let's have ctor. And then I think I made a mistake. It has to be in the player class. So ctor, then string name, and say this name is equal to name. I want to just hide this so we can better see what's happening here. We will have a move method, but I will fill it later. Public void move. Maybe we'll have another method here. This will later, we'll just decide it. So now it's good to go create a new class and add class game, or yeah, game will be nice name. and then public, then we'll have a game class here. So game will contain two things, player 1 and player 2. So player 1, and then player 2. We can decide this is a property, no problem. Player 1, property player 2. I think we can set them private, so no one can change outside class. Then we need to have another variable which has the control whether the game is over or not. Again, this belongs to, we want to directly call this through the game class. We don't want to create object for this. So it's better to create a static boolean than is over. So this should be static because we don't want to create a game object to access this as over. I will explain this later. So we need to have two methods as we said in the PowerPoint slide. Sorry, not this one. Here. Yeah, add method and then start method here. In the main, we will have game and player 1, player 2. So let's make it. Public void add. We need to add player 1 and player 2. Player 1 and then player 2. So this player 1 will be equal to player 1 and player 2 will be equal to player 2. And then we have to have another method which is start method. We'll fill this later. Void start method. Just simply start the game. Okay, and I want to make it public so we can access. Okay, that's pretty much skeleton. Now we need to have a game, this new game, right? And then we will say game add players, but we don't have players yet. So let's go up and create some players. So player 1 is new player, and then I can name it simply player 1, and then same player 2 is going to be new player 2. Okay, I need to add them, player 1 then player 2. So since we add them, we can simply say game and start. That's all. Now for the main method, this is fine. We don't need anything else. Now we have to go back to game and then continue here. So in this start, we can simply say while is not over, the game is not over, the player 1 is going to make move, and then player 2 will make move, and then we will need to process movement. So we don't have process movement, so we have to do it in the game here. You can say void process movement and call this here. For each step, we have to check process the movement. And then after the game is over, then we can say display score, but it's not exist yet. You can simply click this one here, then it will create it for me. Okay, I would like to put this here because we'll first fill this process move method here. Okay, that's good. We need to fill them all, the move method and the others, and then later on we will choose the process movement and then display score. Let's do step by step. Let's go in the move method and continue here. Let's take a look at slides and what we did. Okay, for the move method, we will check if game is over, then we'll return. Otherwise, we will get user choice and then using while. If it's invalid, then keep ask. Let's do it. And here, let's check if game is over, then return. That's why I made this static, because I don't want to create another game object. I can directly access is over. If it's true, then I will return. Then we need to have character to store user choice. Let's leave it for now. Then we'll have another variable boolean is input invalid. And this is going to be false. And then here we need to have do while, and then while we can say is user input invalid, we'll keep ask, and this is clear. So for this one, we should each step we should ask the user what do you want to do. So console write line, we can say please click, please press Q for quit and R for rock, then S for scissor, and P for paper. So now there will be dialog message, and then based on this message we will store this. Okay, so user choice is going to be equal to console read key, then key character gets the Unicode characters represented by the current console info object. Okay, we have it. Now we need to have switch case, switch the user choice, and then here we need case. Cases are Q, and then break it here. So if it's Q, then simply, you know that we have for each player we have hand sign. Let's assign this hand sign. But now for Q we don't have to assign hand sign because this is Q for quit. So we can simply make is game over true because we click Q. That means we want to leave the game. So I can say case if it's rock, then user's hand sign. So hand sign is going to be equal to rock, then break. Then if it's not R, but it's S, we can say hand sign will be equal to scissor and break. Case, if it's paper, that means it's P. I can say hand sign is equal to paper. So else, then we have to have break here. This should be variable, of course, not num type. If not, that means the input is invalid. I can simply say is input invalid is going to be true. So it will keep ask same question, please enter. Maybe here we can write a message here. Please enter a valid choice. And this could be R, scissor, paper, and Q. And that's fine. So now we have it. We have move method. The move is done. Now we should process this movement here. So processing movement is simple. We need to compare their hand sign. It is simply that one. So we will check whether they are same or not. And then we will use this rule. Let's do this one. We first of all say if game is over, then we don't have to process mode, just simply return. That means that we didn't start the game. Else if they are same, that means player 1 hand sign is equal to player 2 hand sign, we can simply say draws. So draws was static. That means we can simply say player plus, and this will increment this for both of them, for player 1 and for player 2, because it's shared by all objects from the class. We can say else if player 1, its hand sign, it's equal to paper and player 2 hand sign, if it's equal to, let's say, rock, who is going to win? Player 1. And then player 1 will win. So we can similarly copy and paste, or we can just maybe manually write them. Player 1 hand sign, it's equal to rock, and player 2 hand sign, it's equal to scissor. Then player 1 again will win. If not, if else, again player 1 will hand sign, it's equal to scissor, and player 2 hand sign, it's a paper. Then again player 1 will win. Otherwise, player 2, in other cases, player 2 will win. So else player 2 wins plus plus. And regardless choice, in any moment we have to increment trials because they're trying. So player was static, then trials plus plus. So that's all for this process moments. Okay, player 1 move and player 2 move, and then after that we process move for each, we compare them, and then we set the scores for each. Then if game is over, we can need to display the scores. For these, we're going to have another method called display scores. So this is simple. We can say string format. Maybe you can say string dot format. This will write anything as a string in the given format. So I can set the format. This to set the format. I want to first of all store name. So name will store as a string, stored in string. And then wins, this is going to be decimal integer. Then rows. Then again, integer. Then maybe it's just better to put this here and put this here. And then trials. Then again, this is integer. We can set for each player, but the better idea could be probably take as a parameter. So just simply say player, then call this for 2 players, like player 1 and player 2. So display score for player 1 and player 2. So let's write this for any player. So for each player, it will be player name, and then player number of wins, player what the next is throws. So this is static, so you should call through the class, and then player, then trials. I think this will be enough for us to check whether the game is working as the next step. Okay. So maybe here we can put some parentheses, then we can explain step by step. So it's better to say console write line. We can say player one hand sign. If they are same, we can simply say like this one, and then empty. Then we can say draws, maybe like this. Got both choose. Can say both choose. Both are something like this. So it will say hand and then draws like this. And then if here we can maybe put another parenthesis here, then we can console write line. Play one hand sign. We can say player name and then give some space. And then it's hand sign. And then we can put this one, another space here probably. And then player two sign. And then we can say player one wins. So player one wins. Maybe something like this. Maybe player one is not a good idea. We can simply say player one name. So it will be dynamic. Then wins. So maybe we can copy and paste this for the other. Just copy the entire, because it will be the same. And then this will be the same. And else we can put this parenthesis. I can say this one, maybe just copy. This time I will say player two wins. Okay, this will be better, I think. We are repeating the same code. We could create a method and then put them all. Maybe just write info. This will be better. But anyway, it's fine for now. We want to understand classes and objects. We are not refactoring the code. Okay, so let's start the game and see if it's working or not. No, we should maybe console read key, so I can stop the screen. Console read key, and then let's do it. So please press Q for quit, R for rock. Okay, R. I click R. Okay, both are rock. Maybe it's better to write something here. Right line. There will be then console. Anyway, it's fine. We can fix it later. As I made a mistake. Just run it here. If I click R, it keeps asking, and this is wrong actually. So it should immediately process it. Let's see what's the problem. I think we should go here, and then we will do some movement. If game is over, it's false. So I clicked it, user choice. It's false, right? Okay. Then just click P. It's asking me again, and this is not, doesn't make sense. Let's put some breakpoint and see what's happening. So click this one, and then start it. It will first of all ask me a question, and I'll read it, and good. So I will click R, for example. Now, user choice is going to be R. Continue, git struck, then break it, then input it's false, right? And then this is false, so it will just shouldn't ask me same question. Then continue, and then go, okay, we'll do the same for the move too. Okay, so this is not a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't ask this. Okay, I got the idea. We can say player 1, maybe player this.name. We can say your turn, but it will ask each time. Maybe we can say console right line here, just empty. So your turn, please. Player 1, your turn, please press Q. Okay, I will press, I'm player 1, R. Sorry, again, I made a mistake. So player 1, your turn, R. Player 2, your turn. I want to click R again. So both are rock, draws. So player 1, you turn, paper, and then player 2, scissor, then player 2 wins. Then I would like to quit the game, so click Q, and then what happened? If I click Q, it will immediately go here and then display scores. And then it sounds like it somehow we didn't display this one. I can say string score, and then console right line, just simply score. Okay. So now it will do it because we didn't say display it. Now do it. Rock, maybe I can click H. So please enter valid, and then P, and then player 2 your turn, and then P. Okay, there's another bug because it's keep asking same for the player 2. Let's go here and try to find the problem. Let me just try this one, rock, scissor, rock, paper, and then Q. Okay. Name. Okay, this is, sorry, it is a Java style. I think I made a mistake. Let me fix it for you. Okay, this is totally wrong because this is, again, in Java style. For C#, we should do something like this. 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's like a placeholder for values. It's a, yeah. So now let's do it and run the game. Paper, paper, scissor, rock, then Q. Then Q. Okay, another problem. I'm clicking Q, it doesn't exit, doesn't quit the game. Let's solve this problem. Okay, I think I found a problem. Because this is input invalid should be automatically false for each step. Therefore, let's do it here. Otherwise, it will keep it always true in this while loop, then it will cause a problem here. So each time when we put the proper input, the correct input, this invalid should be always false. I think now it should work. Let's run the project and see what's happening. So rock and scissor. Now it would ask for player 1, then paper, then rock. I would like to put invalid and then another invalid, then they will ask player 1 P and player 2 rock. So just make it Q and then it's working. So player 1 wins 3, draws 0 and tries 3. Player 2 wins 0, draws 0 and tries 3. So a trial value will be the same, and then wins is according to the user player. What if we want to make this game human versus PC? What should we do? It is actually quite simple. We need to just change the method for player 1 or player 2. Maybe instead of this move, I can say player 2 auto move here. And if I do this auto move method, then that means I can create some random choice. Just click this one and rename, create generate new method in the player, because this is in the player class. So now we should do something here. We're going to have random number. To do this, we have random class in C#, random is equal to new random. Then I should say integer user choice will be random dot next. And then next will give me an integer value between min value and max value. I have rock, scissors, paper, so 0, 1, 2. I think it's better to start from 0 to 2, because the choice could be 0, 1, or 2. So we can simply say if user decision, user choice is equal to 0, then maybe we can put something here. Can say this hand sign of this player is going to be, for example, hand sign paper. Sorry, I should assign it, not make it equal, not evaluate. Else if user choice, if it's equal to 1, then I should say this user choice this hand sign is going to be rock. Doesn't matter, it's rock or scissor. And then else, because there is no other choice, could be 0 and 2, this hand sign will be hand sign dot scissor. So we have 3 of them, and I think we can start the game now. Just and then player 1 your turn. Okay, I can say paper, so both are paper, and rock. Okay, player 2 wins. Scissors, player 2 wins. Okay, I don't want to play anymore, just click Q, and then my wins is 0, the other wins is 2, so draws is 1. So what if I make them both AI, PC versus PC, but this will continue forever, and then I cannot stop the game. For this, maybe we need to have control over this variable. I can say this is Boolean, right? I can set this to game dot we have number of trials, right? We have player dot number of trial. I can say if they play 1000 times, then make this is game over true. This is possible. If I do this one, and then after 1000 times, I think we should do different things. We should set seed, so the PC will decide different random numbers. I think for that one, we can have random and then seed. Let's make this 1000, for example. Number used to calculate starting value for pseudo-random number sequence. If a negative number is specified, the absolute value of number is used. So let's make this 1000 and see if it will show different things. Same. Let's make this 10. Okay, let me think about this and then find a solution. So we can solve this problem simply because it's always storing the same value. It's using, I think, system time to generate random number. Therefore, we should tell the system, okay, generate one number and later generate one random and later wait for a little bit time, for example, 10 milliseconds, and then generate another one. And this will solve our problem. Let's make this not 1000, 100. It will be a faster solution for us. Then start. So it will make this one. So, okay, player 1 wins 29, draws 46, and then player 2 wins 25. So it will be different. And then using this one, we can simply create a random game. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening.